Hey everyone, you should have just finished the quiz in class, and now we're going to be focusing on section 3.5, derivatives of trig functions. So the first thing you're going to do, if you haven't already done it, you should be doing it now, is the decimals matching activity. So you want to try that first, and once you've tried it, then you can come back to the video. If you haven't done it yet, ask the teacher for a code, stop the video, go do the decimals with the code, and then come back. Okay, hopefully you actually stopped the video and did the decimals activity. What you see here now are all of the matches. So there should have been an original trig function. So here's sine with its match, and then its derivative. Cosine, its graph, and its derivative. Tangent, so forth. Okay, so remember the black ones were the original, the green are the derivatives. You should be able to recognize at least two of the derivatives, and the other ones we're going to see if we can figure out as we move forward. So the first one you should have recognized, because the first one is just the fact that sine has a derivative of cosine. You can see your sine curve, and here's your cosine curve. Cosine, here's your cosine curve. These are literally the same graph. And your sine curve, your derivative curve over here is actually not sine, but close. It's the opposite of sine, so negative sine of x. So these two functions are related to each other very closely. Sine's derivative is cosine, cosine's derivative is negative sine. All right, let's move on to the next ones that are a little bit trickier. So here's your tangent curve, and here is the derivative of tangent. And I'm just going to sketch in by hand here another graph and see if you recognize what's happening here. So I'm sketching, well, not very well, but I'm sketching this curve in here. So this is your cosine curve. And if you remember, you use cosine, we did use cosine to graph secant. So you graph secant at the top and the bottom of your cosine curves. Well, we don't have secant here. What I hope you realize is that this part is the same, but this part became positive. So what we actually have is secant squared of x. So the derivative of tangent is secant squared x. So now I'm going to guess that hopefully you can guess what the derivative of cotangent is, because the same thing, kind of the same thing happened. So cotangent's graph looks like this. Notice that cotangent's little tangent lines are all negative. Everything is negative slopes. So this answer should be negative. And instead of it being related to secant, it's related to cosecant. So I'm going to cut and paste and do a little bit of typing here. So negative cosecant squared is the derivative of cotangent. Can you see the sine curve that's kind of sketched in here? So here would be sine would be up here, but then the negative of it would be down here. And always going to be down here because we squared it. Okay, the next two are a little bit trickier to figure out. So if you look right below them, you will see you have some choices to help fill in. So we already did secant squared and negative cosecant squared. Those are at the bottom, right below your graphs on your paper. So we have two choices for the ones that are left over here. So just looking at what's going on, and I hope that how I explain this will make sense to you. In this little region of the graph here, you can see what is behaving a little bit like tangent. So this graph is the derivative of secant, but it has a little bit of tangent in it, which means that the derivative of secant, the match that goes with it, is secant of x times tangent of x. And then you should notice the same thing is happening over here. This is like part of your cotangent, kind of cotangent. It's backwards, actually, more like this. But it's got, well, the negative of cotangent in the graph. So the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. I gave you a few kind of hints to help you recognize them on a graph. It's not a huge deal that you recognize them, but it kind of helps in the future if we need to graph them that you recognize or have at least seen the graphs. It's rare that you're actually going to have to match them, so don't let it freak you out too much. Okay, so now we're going to use these new rules to find the derivatives of a couple of functions here. I'm going to type them in instead of writing them because the writing isn't going very well for me. So we're going to find the derivative of x times secant of x. So first of all, we have a product rule problem that has just a normal x function and then a secant function. So we want to find dy dx with a product rule. So remember, your product rule is the first times the derivative of the second. We just determined that that derivative is secant x, tangent x. So first times the derivative of the second plus the second, secant x, times the derivative of the first. That's our derivative. Do you have to simplify it? No. Will you need to simplify it in the future? Possibly. Okay, so for right now, this is fine, but you might need to take it farther in the future. All right, next we have a quotient rule problem that obviously has Trig in it. So let's see if we can work through that one. So quotient rule, the way I always remembered it was to do low, the low d high. So the low times the derivative of the numerator. So that's 1 plus cosine x times 1. Low d high minus high d low. So the derivative of the denominator, derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of cosine is negative sine of x. Low d high minus high d low over low low. So that's going to happen cosine plus x, and then the whole thing squared. We are going to simplify this a little bit because this negative and a negative is kind of ugly looking, so we're going to fix that just a little bit. So this becomes 1 plus cosine x plus x sine x all over 1 plus cosine x quantity squared. Still not horrible, just have to be a little careful. Okay, last here is we have to actually write the equation of the line, and we also have a product rule that's going along with that. So I'm going to go ahead, find the derivative, and then use the derivative to find the slope and write the equation of the line. All right, get rid of this other stuff. So this is first x squared times the derivative of the second. Derivative of sine is cosine plus the second sine of x times the derivative of the first. I don't want to get confused where that 2x is supposed to go, so I'm going to actually put it at the front. And then I don't really need these parentheses. So first times the derivative of the second, x squared plus cosine x, plus the second sine of x times the derivative of the first, 2x. Okay, so there's my derivative, and now I need to find the value at pi over 2, so I'm going to substitute pi over 2 in. So in doing that, I'm going to have, put some parentheses here, pi, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Pi over 2 squared times cosine of pi over 2, which you're welcome to just calculate it all out, plus 2 times, grab that, 2 times pi over 2 times sine of pi over 2. Okay, so let's figure out what part is 0 before we do too much calculation. So cosine of pi over 2 is the one that is 0. Sine of pi over 2 is the one that is equal to 1. So we end up with 0 plus 2 times this pi over 2 just becomes pi. And we said this is equal to 1. So the whole thing is equal to pi. So the slope of the tangent is equal to pi. Okay, well, I still have to figure out the y value of the actual function when x is equal to pi over 2. So I am going to go ahead and type that up as well. So y of pi over 2 is what I'm doing. So I'm doing y of pi over 2 squared times sine of pi over 2. It kind of feels like we've already done this a little bit, right? So sine of pi over 2 is 1. So I'm just squaring this thing. So it's literally pi squared over 4 is the y value. So now I have both the y value and the x value figured out. So then finally, my last step here, let's move this stuff out of the way, is to write the equation of the line. So the equation of the line will be y minus pi squared over 4 equals pi times the quantity x minus pi over 2. So I'm going to type that up. So it becomes y minus pi squared over 4 equals, my slope is pi, times x minus pi over 2, that value right there. This is definitely a problem that you would not really want to simplify any farther. There's really no need. Okay? I hope that you understand all of that. If you don't, please make sure you come to class tomorrow with some questions.